So we are nearly the end, and probably I might have to go very fast, but we might complete the whole series today. Let's see what we can do. So let's start with Mangalacharan. What a beautiful picture that is. Tomorrow is Janmashtami, and for last 2 days, Janmashtami sessions been going on. If you haven't planned,
Janmashtami, like the birth of Krishna, called tomorrow is Janmashtami.
Hare Krishna, that's good to hear, Jai. I'm sure if you are in India, Jai, then in India the festivities even to the next level, because we have certain.
Yeah, like, I'll be going to ISKCON tomorrow. Like there is a celebration there.
Hare Krishna, very nice. It's always good to go and visit the temple. Very nice. We should, and this is the time we should reflect back, because it should improve our consciousness. It should make us better person. So let's start with Mangalacharan. Ajnanatinirandasya Jnana-jana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddhapadakamalam Shri Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Madan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kancha Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachat Deshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. I welcome every one of you for the last segment of this series of Journey of Self-Discovery. We might or might not finish today, but this is the last session, last segment on this. So if in case we won't able to, we don't want to rush, we will get to the next level next week. But let me revise very quickly, and if there is any question at any time, please let me know. And I am going to have where's my chat gone? Yes, I got my chat now. Right, okay, so what we have already covered in this series is based on Srila Prabhupadaji's teachings, and these are the topics what we have already done. And we did revise ourselves last week as well. Hare Krishna. Search for happiness. Does God exist? Who is God? Who am I? Why do bad things happen to good people? Because of the previous karmas. And then the practical yoga. So understanding all of those, Now we have reached the level where we need to understand how we can implement all that knowledge in our day-to-day life. So there was a time when I was in university, Christians, missionaries were there, and I always have a taste for discussions, so I discuss with them. And our discussion reached to the point where it was very clear they wanted to convert me from Hindu to a Christian. And I had many good Christian friends, and I still have many good Christian friends. At that point, I said to them that, okay, let's say right now, if I will convert to Christian, how my life will change. Because it doesn't really matter what I do, what my belief is, my life should change. If I'm not getting any difference in my life, then what's the use? It's like if I will go to gym. If I'm not going to get any healthy, if I'm not going to get more fit, then what's the point of joining gym or performing yoga practices? Because it should make difference in my day-to-day life, right? It's not that once in a year we go to the temple for Janmashtami. Well, it's not that if somebody goes once in a year, then that person should stop. No, but then whatever the reason is for us to go to the temple, we should get the teachings which will or which should affect our day-to-day life, right? And that's where all the philosophy comes in. That our day-to-day, the knowledge, the wisdom, the way we decide things in our life, that will change, right? The way we look towards things, that will change. So very quickly, what we have already seen. So I'm going to flick through very quickly because this is what we revised throughout the series, and this is what we revised last session as well. So who am I? I'm not the temporary body, I'm the material body. Is it? Nah. I'm material, I'm not spirit. Well, this body is material, but the soul inside is spirit, and this is what I am. Where did I come from? I'm not material, I'm spiritual, right? So this is the main thing. I'm not from here. If I was from here, from this place, then I would have been happy. But you would never ever find anyone happy on the planet. Maybe temporary, yes, if somebody will get iPhone 12 or somebody will get Mercedes, yes, but for a while, not for long. And this is us. We cannot get happy at a temporary place. This place is actually recognized in as Dukhalya. Dukh is sorrow. So we're going to get the sorrow here. So why I am here? Why I'm here at the place which is full of sorrow? Dukhalya. Because I chose it. I chose to be independent. Somebody who is there inside the jail, why the person is there? Somebody in the prison, why? Why the person is there in the prison? Well, simple. Whichever country we are in, there are some rules and regulations. If we don't follow rules and regulations, then we say, well, I have the independence and I can follow it and I will break the laws. Or we do have independence, but still we need to express our independence under the rules and regulations of the country we are living in. And this is what happens. This is the reason we are here, wherever we go. And we can think more, we can discuss more. But why so many species? Because based on our karma, all right? Now, at the time of death, when we leave our body, what we are thinking? If we are thinking about the favorite birds, next birth we might become birds. And so many stories are there in the scriptures where this has happened. And almost everyone, every religion would tell you, whoever believes in afterlife, that at the time of life, at the time of, at the end of the life, at the time of death, whatever is our consciousness, that will be the beginning. So the last consciousness of this life will be the first consciousness of the next life, whether material or spiritual. If you understand, based on, let's say, in A levels, so you do your school, you reach to your A levels, based on whatever your marks are there in the A levels, your next is university. So based on what your marks are, final marks are there in the A levels, doesn't really matter how well. Of course, if you will do well in your A levels throughout, you studied well, and then only you can do great in your exams. If you would not study throughout the year, you will not able to get good marks at the end. But at the end, it's important to get the good marks, right? If you don't get the good marks, you can't say to someone, oh, I've been working very hard. But if you've been working very hard, it should have shown in your final exams. And that is the final exam for us, right? If you think about it. And based on that, our next life, which is university, is going to change. If we will get good marks, which we all should, because we are students, that's our prescribed duty. When we do sports, work hard in sports. When we do studies, give the best we could, right? And that's what we are saying here. So based on, so why different people are in different universities? Based on how they performed in A levels. And that's what we can think of in terms of species, right? How many species? It says 84 lakhs. And then if you go further, how long will this go? Well, this will keep going. Infinity, it will keep going and going and going and going. Is there any way of ending this process? Which means if we will reach to the end, our consciousness is not clean, we will get the material birth again. What should I do now? Is there any way out? Of course, because we are not here. Bhagavad Gita is not here just to tell us the problem. Bhagavad Gita is giving us the mirror where we can see the, what we say, absolute truth, the truth which will never change. 5,000 years back and even now, whether we believe it or not, it's there. Right? A classic example is, if you think about, if we go tomorrow, we will go to the temple, we will have great darshan of Krishna and Radha, right? And then you would notice the spotlights are there on the deities, right? And because of that, we could have the focus lights and we can appreciate. Imagine just for moments if the light will go away, right? It's all dark. Now, Krishna, Radhaji, and their deity, that has always been beautiful, right? What the spotlight did or what the light did is, for us, the beauty was there, but for us, it was facilitated such a way that now we could appreciate it. Yes, this is what we call absolute truth, that the sun has always been there, but the cloud came in between. And now we cannot see the sun. Now, when the cloud will go, we will say, oh, sun is here. The sun has always been there. Krishna and Radha, their deities, they have always been beautiful, but the spotlight just made it clear for us, right? And this is what we say, that the rules and the regulations and the absolute truth, that has always been same, right? And it will remain same. The fundamentals are there, but whether we will able to enhance our consciousness, that's what we are discussing here. And Hare Krishna. Tanmay, good to have you. So we are just revising where we were. So human body is a gift for us. Hare Krishna. Good to have you, Tanmay. Very well. So what should we do? Now there are many ways people have spent their life, and we will see what we could do. Now, one of the solutions we said is a karma. We said there are 3 different types of karmas we do. One is bad karma. One is a karma where we don't do bad for others, but whenever we do something good, we expect something back. We do the studies because we want a better degree, and because that better degree, a great degree from a great university is going to get us a better job. And then from the job, we will get money, and from the money, we will get a bigger house, faster cars, expensive clothes. And that's it. But that's not the purpose of studies, is it? The purpose of study is not that. Now, you all are students, you should know what the purpose of studies is. But again, at the back of our mind, we might have this, that if we will study, and you could ask, ask your friends who might not be spiritual in nature as much you are, then why do we study? Why do we go to school? And most of the time, I would say 9 out of 10, you would get, because we will get good job, because we will get good money, so we can have all these things. But all these things are material. At the time of death, we're going to leave all of those. Yeah. So that's where we are in the middle, what we call karma or sakarma, where we said, Hare Krishna, where we say that what we want to do, where we say We want to study because that's our prescribed duty. We are a student. This is the best time for us to study. Later, how we can use that study, how can we use that knowledge, the wisdom for the betterment of the society. If we are medical practitioners, then we will develop many more medical things. If in case we are engineers, then we will develop many solutions, engineering solutions in the world. And based on this, we can move on. Akarma is where we do what we want, what we are doing, but we don't expect anything in returns. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. So we do it because we understand the point is to do all those things as a service to Krishna. Krishna has given us the knowledge, how we can utilize that knowledge in the service of others, right? That could be volunteer, that could be the social service, social entrepreneurship, and it could be we work as a normal in a company, we get the money, but what do we do with that money? And do we, first thing, do we take the ownership of that money? We say, oh, I have worked so hard and I got that money. Or could we say, oh, Krishna, thank you so much. You have given me the intelligence that I could get such a nice job. So everything we relate back to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we say, you have given this to us. Arjun was a great example of this. Arjun was one of the topmost warrior in Mahabharata, right? Krishna was with him. But when Krishna left him, he could not even fight with the villagers. And what Arjun's realizations were when he came back and he started crying and he said to Yudhishthira Maharaj that I thought I'm doing it all. But I didn't realize because Krishna was with me, Krishna made me do it. Right? Krishna supported. This is what we don't understand. Now, as it says, freedom from all previous reactions. Now, in the past, we might have done something wrong, and then the suffering, we might have to get it. And we took the example of the speed limit. So let's say if I will break, if I'm driving a car, I will break a law. It's 80 miles per hour. I will go more than that. Well, it's 70 actually. So 80 is more. And if I will go 80, I will get a fine. But I might not get a fine straight away. I might get fined. So when I was in Dubai, we get the fine right at the end of the year when we will go and we will say we want to renew the registration. Then we get the fine. So this is, and somebody who might know us for the last 6 months will say, well, I have been traveling with you. Your driving is great. I don't understand how come you got this fine. Well, then what the person doesn't know, that before the person got in touch with you, you had some previous karmas. And that's why we said, why good things happen to bad people? Because of their past good karmas. Why bad things happen to good people? Because of their bad karmas in the past. Right? Atonement is one of those words where in Hindi we might have heard it. It says prayashchit, which is when we do something wrong and we recognize it. We raise our hand and we say, I did it, right? I did it, and so sorry, I won't do it again. But the example of elephant is there because elephant is known. Elephant goes in the river, cleans himself or herself, but come out and start putting the sand back on. So African elephants, I think all the elephants, I've seen African elephants, they're known for it. They're always dirty. And if you ask them, ask the guys who take care of them, they say they go there, they wash themselves for hours, but when they come out, they start putting the sand on top of them again. And that's what they do. This is not what devotees are. So what that means, that you go, you wash your sins, and then you come back and you do the same thing again. No. If in case we have done something wrong, then what we will do, we will say, oh, I accept I have done it and I won't do it again later. Yeah. So this is what we need to do. We do a karma. All the reactions will go away. Proclivity is another term for it. We have seen the example of soldiers, where soldier will go and fight for the country and the soldier will get awarded and rewarded. But so this is called akarma because the intentions were to save the country. The intentions were not for the self, right? And this is what the akarma is. We don't want to stop working. Being devotee, we always go and work. But if the same soldier will go nearby in the neighborhood and fight with someone, then the local police will catch him. And he will say, I killed so many people there at the border. I got the award, but I just hit someone here. The police is catching me. That's not fair. But that's fair. Why? Because fighting for the border, the person was fighting for the country. The intentions were for the country. But here, the intentions are for the self. So we need to be very clear what we're doing. Are we doing it for ourselves? Are we doing it for someone else? So what we don't want to stop what? It's not. It's a lot of people, they think, oh, devotion is, bhakti is, you go in the temple, you just ring the bell, and that's it. Renounce the world. No, devotees are very busy. And there are many shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. This is chapter 3, Karma Yoga, 9th verse. Work done as a sacrifice for Vishnu. Right? So that's why it is. Okay, this is another one of them. How we have to act. So this is where we say the day-to-day life changes will be there based on the knowledge and wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. What do we do? Do we become, so it says, all of us, we have like two sides of it. Because Maya is there and Paramatma is there within us. Maya is 3 modes of material nature, which is goodness, passion, and ignorance. That's Maya Devi. And then we have Paramatma, who always directs us. So we need to have the ability to hear, listen, and follow the good. Or we say, how should we act? If you see the iron rod, and if the flame is there on one side, you will see on the very soon, our hand is going to burn. And this is the power of association, right? So very first thing is, we need to have a good association. So if Adi has a best friend, but Adi's best friend is doing naughty things, then Adi need to understand that if I will stay with this boy or girl for a long, then I will be in trouble. So either explain things to your friend or move away. You cannot stay with the bad association for long. And of course, Adi is in primary, Ishan is in secondary. Tanmay is getting in secondary, I think, from September. So all the best for that, Tanmay. And this is what we need to learn. When we go, we need to decide what's good, what's bad. This is a very old example. Some of you might not have even seen it. But another thing we saw, a karma comes from practice. It's not like overnight I've said it, and tomorrow morning you will just able to do all those things. We do yoga. What is yoga? Yoga is the union. Yoga is that connection of ourselves with the Lord, with the God, which can remind, of course, most of the time these days we understand Hatha Yoga, which is like the physical postures people make, right? That's not what we are talking about. To do the karma, we need to, Adi has 6 best friends. Great, you're lucky, Adi. Say, we discussed last week, connecting with God is what we call yoga, but it's yoga. Yoga is the union, the join. Now there are different means how you all have friends and relatives far, so you can send the emails or emails here. This is called S, which is slow mail, which is the post. You can fly to them or you can just call them. And there are different ways to connect, right? There are different ways to connect. This is what yoga does. There are different types of yogas, and different types of yogas are different types of connections we need to make. So if I need to speak to Adi, Adi can call me, Adi can meet me in Zoom, Adi can meet me at temple, Adi can come at my home, Adi can invite me at his home, right? So how do we meet? And these are different types of connection. These are different types of yogas. Yoga means the way we connect to the Lord. Now, Karma Yoga is where whatever we do, we connect those to Krishna. And that's chapter 3, and then we will see later as well. Chapter 6 is full of yoga, Bhagavad Gita. So we will resume back chapter 6 after that. Gyan Yoga is the knowledge, where in Karma Yoga, whatever we do, we are busy. So Karma Yogis are busy doing things, and everything they do, they connect it to Krishna. For example, if I'm working in the office, I get the money, as I said, I will try to use that money for Krishna's service. But Gyan Yoga is whenever I want to read a book, I might try to read more about Krishna, I might try to understand more about Krishna. While Karma Yogi might read less, but will do more, might go and do the service in the temple, right? Or might discuss Bhagavad Gita like we are discussing. And then we have Dhyan Yoga, somebody who does the meditation. This is, now if you see, the first one goes for the senses, the Gyan Yoga goes for the intelligence, Dhyan Yoga goes for the mind. Senses, intelligence, and mind. If you think about it, we are going a bit subtle every time. Senses, you can see ears, eyes, nose, skin, tongue. Intelligence, we cannot see. It's tangible, is it? But if you think about mind, it's even, because intelligence, we can say, oh, somebody is intelligent enough. How do we say that? The way person behaves, the way person reply back, respond back, right? Mind is even more subtle than intelligence, but intelligence can control mind. We call buddhi. But then we have bhakti yoga, which is the love and which is the soul, which is even finer than mind, Then we have self-ego. So mind is in between intelligence and self-ego. So mind, if mind goes towards listen to intelligence, mind will go towards Krishna. If mind will listen to ego, then it will fall in material world. For example, let's say my father has told me that I should not be angry. But if my mother will say something to me, my mom says, do this, I don't want to do it, I will get angry. If I get angry, that means I'm getting into material nature, because anger is due to mode of ignorance, or sometimes mode of passion, but mostly mode of ignorance, right? But if we will able to control our, if we might not even agree with someone, but we will not get angry. That means we are in mode of goodness. We have much more control over ourselves. That means our mind is listening to the intelligence which has been given by our dad, or it could be other way around, just the example. So our mind should listen to the intelligence, should not listen to the ego. Ego is, oh, you have said that to me, you have said to me a dog. So there was a Buddhist, somebody said to him, oh, I got angry with him, with my best friend. Like Adi said, I have 6 best friends. So somebody said, oh, I'm angry with my best friend. And that Buddhist monk said, why? I said, he said me, I'm dog. And then he said, okay. Monk said, but did you check whether you have a tail? I said, no. I said, check, do you have a tail? And then he looked at it and he said, no, I don't have a tail. Of course I don't have a tail. I'll say, if you don't have a tail, use your intelligence. You're not a dog. Just because your friend is saying you're a dog, why do you need to get angry? You know you don't have a tail. You know that means you're not a dog. Why do you need to be angry? And the person say, that's right. That's where the intelligence comes in. People come, people say things, people react. So when we have different circumstances, depends how we react. Do we react? Most of the time we react, but we need to respond. So reaction is instant, without thinking. Respond where we think about it. We use the intelligence, wisdom, and then we take the next step. So karma yogi, jnana yogi, dhyan yogi, and bhakti yogi. Bhakti yogi is the top, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Wow, then we move on. We understand a bit more. If we are doing karma yoga, then as it says, the work should be for the Vishnu, which is for the Krishna, but it's the literal translation of the verse. Jnana yoga, so where it says, after many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge, which means jnani, surrenders onto me. So what will happen after the knowledge? Let's say if I will read a lot more about engineering, let's say if I will read about Oxford, and I'm reading Oxford, Cambridge, great university, what will I do? Once I've learned about them, then I will try to get admission in that, right? This is what surrender is. When we will learn about Krishna, what we will do? We will try to go to the temple, try to read more about Krishna, try to understand the Krishna's philosophy more, try to be with the Krishna devotees more. And that's what the knowledge does. So if we have the knowledge about something, we will take the next step for sure, right? And that's what the jnana does. That's what the knowledge does. What the dhyan does, He who always abides in me with great faith. With the dhyan, our mind is in control. With the mind, we have a clear focus. So whatever we will do, if you want to study, we will able to study much, much, much better. Right. And then what the bhakti will do? It says the person will always be thinking of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer homage unto me. Means everything we have. So when we wake up, when the devotees wake up in the morning, devotees will say, thank you, Krishna. So Gaur Gopal Prabhuji made a very nice video on YouTube. You might see. I think the title of the video is 2 gifts. So we have 2 gifts every morning we get it. You know what they are? He says our eyes. When we open the eyes, the world is still there. Because a lot of people who go to sleep every night, they don't wake up every morning. So somebody will say, are you lucky? And you say, you are lucky. Definitely I'm lucky. Why? Because when I opened my eyes, I was there. My body was working. And I can see my family was there with me. So yes, I'm very lucky. Thank you, Krishna. Right? And the very first thing in the morning, thank you, Krishna. That right at the end, when we sleep, thank you, Krishna. The day has gone very nicely. So this is what Bhakti Yoga is. Everything we do, we understand it's happening because of Krishna, not because I have been. That doesn't mean that we are going to stop working. We will still work very hard, yeah, but we are not going to take the ownership of it, right? So in the family, well, whenever the parents do things for the kids, the parents usually give credit to kids. Oh, you did great. Oh, you're amazing. Now, kid could have the self-ego. You're right. I did that. Oh, awesome. Or kids could say, thank you, daddy. Thank you, mama. You're so kind. I know you have done it, but you want to give me the credit. This is what Arjun did at the end, that I thought I have been doing this, but Krishna was there. Krishna gave me those energy to do those things. This is what Srila Prabhupada did. When he opened so many temples all over the world, and somebody said, oh, you are great. He said, no, my Guru Maharaj is great. My spiritual master is great. My teacher is great. He gave me blessings. He gave me the instructions. Because of those instructions, I could able to get the mercy of Krishna. Right? So this is what we always keep ourselves humble. So it says, fly as much as you want, rise, yeah, achieve, may have a lot of achievements, but keep your feet on the ground, which means never fly big enough that you leave the ground reality, which means we forget all about it. Especially when we are successful, you know, when you young kids going to get into the university, you will get great marks, you will get a great job, you might start your own entrepreneurship, or you will become the CEO, you will say, I'm great. But then don't forget that when you were working hard, there were people who helped you, especially your teachers, your parents, your best friends. Like Adi has 6 best friends. So don't forget to express gratitude towards them, right? And obviously, who has given all this to you? Who has given that intelligence to you? Like Arjun said, Krishna.
I have a question.
Yes, please. We love questions. Yes, please.
Remember you said you can fly, but keep your foot on the ground. How is that possible?
Very nice. Very nice. Good question, Adi. And anyone would like to say anything on it? Let's check if anyone else would like to say. So if we are, okay, Tanmay, please.
So basically it's a saying. It doesn't literally mean that fly and keep your feet on the ground. It means that when you're really successful and you're having a good time, then not to be too proud about it, not to show off about it, to be humble, give gratitude to Krishna and everybody else. And not to think you're the best and you're supreme.
Great. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Tanmay. Adi, did that make sense?
Yes.
Well done. Thank you, Tanmay. Tanmay said it correct. That yes, it's that this is what we call analogy. But yes, Tanmay explained it very nicely. And I'm so glad it's all clear to you, Adi. And thank you for that lovely question. Fantastic. So Bhakti Yoga, the devotion, how we keep ourselves humble. Despite all the hard work, despite all the success, we keep ourselves humble. So some people, so remember, you might have heard that the analogy of full or half glass. A glass is there, it's half full with water and half empty. So somebody will say, oh, it's half empty. Oh, my glass is half empty. Or somebody else will say, wow, thank you, Krishna. You have given me half of the glass full of water. I really, really needed it. Right? This is what Bhakti Yoga is. So we appreciate what we have and work towards what we could get, right? And some people, they might stop at some place and they will say, okay, now we will enjoy what we have, right? But no, what we have, we will deploy, we will use in the service of Krishna for the society. And then let's see if we will keep improving ourselves so we can do the service even better. And this is a beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita, Manmana Bhava Madbhakto. And we have seen this. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer my homage. This comes right at the end in chapter 18. And this is what Krishna is saying, right? Regard this as the highest, what Krishna says in Bhakti Yoga. There are so many things we could do, so many different yogas as we have just seen, and we will see them again in chapter 6 Bhagavad Gita, which we will do after this. But this is what we have seen last week as well, that we could do a lot of things, but they all are zero. And all those zeros will be nothing until we have one at the end, one at the front. Yeah. So we could have one at the end, but then that will be only one. But if you put one at the front, then all those zeros will be very useful. And this is what when we give everything for Krishna. And think of Arjun. When Arjun, the Pandavas, they fought with Kauravas. Kauravas had like 50% more bigger army than Pandavas. But Krishna was there with Arjun. And because of Krishna, Arjun won. Right? And this is what happened. And we have seen it a number of times. We have a lot of things in our life, we make the priorities. But what do we need to do? We need to, when we prioritize, we should not forget about Krishna. Yeah? As it says, maximum vitality, we can, Bhakti Yoga, the beauty is that we can do it any place and under any circumstances. We can do Bhakti because even if we are laying down, we can hear about Krishna. Even if physically we are not fit, we cannot go to the temple. These days we can have online darshan because it's about consciousness. Remember, it's about consciousness. Now somebody might be there in the temple, but his mind is in cricket or in football. Then that person is not in Bhakti, right? Or somebody else could be there at home, washing the pots, but thinking about Krishna. But that doesn't mean that whatever we are doing, you might be studying and you should think about Krishna. No, if you're studying, think about, have your own focus on your studies. Yeah. But whenever you get the chance, you have that time in between. Why are you studying? Because if you know the reason, if you keep yourself, this is what GPS does, keep yourself on track. So you think about it, why you are studying, and then your study will be even better, right? So maximum results we get it in the shortest time. This is what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. From the Bhakti Yoga, we get all the benefits of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and even what we call Ashtanga Yoga. Maximum results in the shortest time and minimum efforts. Because as we said, we can just stay. Look what Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Like Krishna doesn't need a lot of things. Krishna just needs surrenderance, right? What the parents needs from kids, just the surrender. We just need to go to the parents and say, oh, sometimes we don't even need to go, but we need to express ourselves. If you will say, oh, Dad, I don't need you, I will sort this myself. Dad will say, okay, no problem. But as soon as you will express yourself, Dad, I need your help. Father is always ready. Father has always been ready to help. Or mother. Parents have always been there. But we have to express. What we can't do, oh, no, I don't need your help. I don't need your help. I will do. Oh, you could help, you could try, and they could try helping you, but that won't go very well, right? You have to surrender. I do need your help, right? And that says awakens the true nature of soul, which is interdependence. A lot of people think, oh, I'm independent. Well, think about it. Are we independent? To be honest, I don't think I'm independent. Well, in my case, I'm dependent on these glasses. Without glasses, I can't even see. If I will take the glasses off, I won't know whether this is Adi or Tanmay or Ishan. Whose picture is this? I'm dependent on this. But those who don't have glasses, are you all dependent or independent? Well, if you think you are independent, can you control your heartbeat? Now, can you control your liver? No. Can we do all those things? No. Can we control our sleep? Arjun could. Arjun could. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a word which says Arjun could, he won over sleep, and he could even fight in darkness. Right? But we can't. When Arjun was bewildered by material modes, then what chances we are? We don't. We always get illusion. No? We do. So when we understand that we are dependent, and not only dependent on Krishna, we are interdependent. We are dependent on each other. Then we become humble again, right? So as long as people say, oh, I'm independent, I don't need anyone, the self-ego goes up. But when we say, I am interdependent, I'm dependent on others, others are dependent on me, then it's get a bit better, right? And this is what says, pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entity. It is not something to be gained from another source. This is what we call self-realize. Now, a great example, we always say that if we have a $10 note in our, or 10 pound in our pocket, we don't know. We don't know it's there, right? Is it the discovery we need to do? We just need to realize. We don't need to go and gain it. We don't need to work hard to gain it. We just need realization. And that's why the word is, what is enlightenment? It's self-realization. It's the realization of that Krishna is there within us, right? In the form of Paramatma. So we have Atma, we have Paramatma, right? And the pure love, we call it dormant. Dormant, it's like it's sleeping, it's more or less dead, but we can give the water, we can give the soil, and it will sprout. The love for Krishna. And this is the way many other spiritual people said that everyone is good. Everyone is good as long as they will realize God in themselves and God in others. Otherwise, everyone is good. But the problem is we don't realize it. Why? Because we spend a lot of time outside. We pick faults in others. So we say, Aryan will say Shivani's fault, Shivani will say Aryan's fault. What about if Aryan will say, let's see what are faults in me. Can I improve myself? How about Shivani? Shivani say, Aryan, Bhaiya is elder than me. If he told me that, let me see if I can improve. This is the self-realization, self-purification process. Remember, the topic is the journey of self-discovery. We need to become the better version of ourselves. What we were yesterday, tomorrow will be the better version of yesterday. The world will keep changing. Doesn't really matter good or bad things around. Our heart is purified by hearing and chanting, and that's the reason we hear and chant. Right? The last instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Again, we will do in the chapter 18, Sarva Dharman Pariteja. Abandon all varieties of religion, means all different types of yogas, and just surrender on to me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions, like whatever we have done in the past. Right? Remember the elephant? Elephant will go and clean. The water will clean. The Krishna will clean us. But what we need to make sure that we will not make ourselves dirty again. What Krishna is not saying That, okay, you, whenever you are dirty, come to me, I will clean, like what elephant does, and then go back again in the society, do sins and come back and then clean up. No, realize what we have been doing. And what we do, we cheat, we lie, don't we? Even at young age, people lie. Even at young age, people tell lies to each other, to the friends, sometimes even cheat. I hope none of you do, but we need to be ready. Okay, there was a statement in English. Now this says Jnana to Vijnana. And this is, it says the religion, the Sanatan Dharma, the Vedic wisdom is a great science. Jnana is the knowledge, but from Jnana we get the wisdom and the science. Well, what is science? It's the experimental thing. It will change our life for good. And the importance of human life, remember what we said? That the human body is a gift. You might have remembered A, B, C, D we did initially. And this session is the revision of all, practically how we can improve ability of higher inquiry. So that's what we should do. Now, of course, playing Xbox, PSP, or any other video game is good for entertainment. Are you doing any higher inquiry? Maybe not. What if you will inquire that I know I should not get angry, but why do I get angry? This is what Arjuna asked from Krishna, and Krishna replied in Bhagavad Gita, right? So we know these things are bad. Why do we still do it? And you could see your parents doing the same. So sometimes parents say, don't lie, but the parents, they lie themselves. The parents say, you should focus. Sometimes parents lose their focus, right? When I say parents, I mean the adults, any adults you would see. So ability for higher inquiry, not where we sense gratify ourselves. Ability to experience bliss. So not the happiness, but the bliss. Happiness could be in anything in the material, but we know the difference in happiness and bliss. Bliss is one of those things which never goes. It's always there and it comes from inside. When we are there, we are taking the darshan of Krishna, right? We feel blissful. Now, of course, the darshan comes from outside, but we can close our eyes anytime and we can have that darshan. And we could be blissful at any time. We don't need anything from outside. That's what we call bliss. So we are working towards bliss. The human life should take us to what we call Satta Chitta Ananda. Ananda is bliss. And it's always there with us. Imagine you will always be happy, right? So in Indian culture, usually when kids touch the feet of adults, adults give the blessings. And one of the best blessing is, or one of the famous blessings is, that the parents say, always be happy. Or they say, khush raho, khush raho, khush raho, always be happy. Now, what that means whether you become engineer or a doctor, whether you become a pilot, whether you become the accountant, whether you earn less money or more money, be happy. Because it doesn't really matter what do you do, which university you go, how many degrees you collect, which company you work for, how big your bank account is. If you are not happy, then all those things are kind of useless. What I'm not saying is that those things are always useless. No, those things are very helpful. But we don't get bliss from them, we get happiness from them. They are material things, they are really good to have, but we should always think of the spiritual side as well, because the spiritual side gives us the foundation where we can enjoy all the material things in the right mood. And that's where ability to make choices come. Should we do this? Should we do that? Well, where I will be more happy? Here or here? So sometimes people say, oh, there is a job right in front of me. I cross the road and I can go to the job. Oh, there is another job which will give me more money, but for that I need to travel for 1 hour in London Tube. Now, which one would you take? Most of the people will travel an hour extra and go for extra money. Now, what do they do with that extra money? That's very interesting. And that's where we say ability for higher inquiry. Ability for higher inquiry, right? Think of it. And based on that, we need to make choices. And Life is all about choices. Somebody asked a successful person, successful businessman, that how you have been such a great businessman. What's the secret? And he said 2 words: good decisions. Right? Adi, remember? And say, oh wow, but how do you get good decisions? The ability to make good decisions. He said 1 word. He said, what? He said, experience. Oh, from experience you make good decisions. But how do you get experience? He said 2 words. He said, wow, 2 more words. What are those? And he said, bad decisions. So from bad decisions you make experiences. From experiences, next time you make good decisions. So the life is all about making good decisions, bad decisions. Bad decisions, we have to give the experiences. Good decisions are what's going to determine how our future will be. And of course, determination, that we need to keep working towards it. Right? Nothing is going to happen overnight. Right? So Tanmay got into a great school. Kushan is in a great school. These guys, they really worked hard. How? And Adi is working very hard these days in chess as well. How? It's not one-off. It's not one day. And sometimes it's not even 1 year. Recently, Olympics happened. How hard those people worked. You know, some of the races, especially like 100 meters, less than 10 seconds. Less than 10 seconds. But for how many years they have prepared for those 10 seconds. Right? Same thing, you have the exam right at the end. And sometimes for 11 plus, for example, kids, they prepare for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And the exam might be a couple of hours. Determinations, right? And the process is ABCD as well. And very quickly, I will say that, and then we will end. And hopefully next time, we will start from this process and we will finish off. Next time, we will finish off. The process A is association of devotees, the very good thing. Remember, somebody said, oh, I want to learn this. What shall I do? Well, you associate with those who learn it. If you want to learn martial arts, what will you do? You will speak to a friend who goes to the martial arts. If you want to learn how to play guitar, what will you do? You will speak to someone who plays guitar or who teaches guitar. It's all about association. If you want to become a better devotee, what would you do? You will go and speak to devotees. You will go to the temples where devotees are there. Get in the association. Association is probably one of the best things. Good association to have, bad association to avoid at every cost. And because you kids are going to get into great schools doesn't mean the association is always good. So you need to have the wisdom to make the choice that what's good and what's bad. Hare Krishna. Okay, great. So, right, okay. Let me stop it here because I just got the message from Jay that Jay would like to sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And then next session, we will start from here, the process. And the first one I've discussed association, and we will see what B, C, and D are. And then we will go in the process. And this process, if we follow, then that process will improve our consciousness on a daily basis. On a daily basis. Again, remember, if you follow this Krishna conscious process, what are the benefits? Not that when you will die, something will happen. It might happen, good, but the benefits should be evident, visible now, right? And that's what we are talking about. Our life should improve now. It's like when we have ice cream, we feel cold now. If we touch fire, we burn ourselves now, right away. And that's what Krishna consciousness is. That's what Vedic wisdom is. Great. Thank you so much with that. And we have 5 minutes left. We will request Jay, who would like to do a small chanting or sing a bhajan. In past, Jay has been singing few bhajans. I think Radha Madhav and other ones as well. Tanmay did Hanuman Chalisa, I think. It's always great to hear. Jay, would you like to? Yes, please.
Yes, Prabhuji. So it's not the Hare Krishna chanting, like I just found out this chanting. So like I
Okay.
really liked it, so I would like to do that one.
Sure. Jay, your voice is coming a bit low. So if you could either speak a bit louder or use the mic, headphone. I think it's better now if you try. So if you let us know what that chanting is, if we know the
Now
words.
can you hear me?
It's a bit better. Yes, it's a bit better. Would you like to share what kind of chanting it is? And then if I can get the lyrics on the, I don't know whether you want us to follow with you.
Like first I'll do it once and then I'll send then you all can also follow.
Okay. The only issue is that, Jay, we can't hear you. I don't know if others could hear you properly. I could hear you. You said that you will say and we could follow you, which is great. I was wondering if you will give me the chanting, is it mantra?
I could hear Jay properly.
Or you could hear Jay properly, it could be me then. Jay, go on, please. If nobody else, Adi is there, he can follow you.
Jai Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Jayan Vasudev. Jai Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Janath Narayan 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 Vasudev.
Hare Krishna. Very nice, Jay. Right, okay. Did you want us to repeat it?
If you all like to, we all can sing it together.
Oh, right. Yes, let's sing it together then. My cursor is at the bottom, but I have the bell. I can do the bell. It's always good to have a bit of music around. But yes, we will follow you. Jai, please. Jai Krishna.
Yes. Should I start?
Yes, please. Jai.
Jai Krishna Govinda Hare
Murari
Narayan Vasudev. Jai Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayan Vasudev. Jai Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayan Vasudev.
Jai Krishna Govinda Hare Murari Narayan Vasudeva. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Jai. Such a nice, it's a bhajan, and I've just shared the link of the bhajan, which you have just sang so beautifully. And it's always good to have the name of the Lord in one form or other. Somehow we should, as it says, connect to the Lord. So I'm so glad that you sang that. And anyone else now or later at any point, if you like to, then please. Tanmay, yes, please.
Can I sing Hanuman Chalisa?
Oh, wow. You want to sing the whole Hanuman Chalisa now?
I'll do it some other day because it's 7 o'clock.
That's what I was thinking, yes. Yeah. Because it takes a lot of time. Do you...
Prabhuji, first time Nirik sang the Hanuman Chalisa.
Ah, Nirik did it. Oh, sorry. I thought you did it, Tanmay. Do you remember the whole Hanuman Chalisa?
Prabhuji, yeah, I remember it mostly.
Very nice. When I was a child, I still do it. But when I was a child, that's one of the probably first thing which I remember spiritually, the whole Hanuman Chalisa. So where we live in Delhi, the street is Hanuman Mandir street, which is the right at the corner. We have Hanuman Mandir. So that's the name of the street. Famous, very famous temple. So Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Tanmay. Maybe next time, and either we will start or we will end up with the Hanuman Chalisa. It's always good to have the blessings of Hanumanji. Great. I wish and pray for everyone. Jay also remember the whole Hanuman Chalisa, which is great. It's great for kids. Hanumanji is very famous and dear and near for all the kids, which is great to have. So I pray for everyone for a great Janmashtami tomorrow. And if you haven't decided, try to go to the temple, otherwise have darshan online, have prashadam. If you want to fast, we usually fast and celebrate Krishna's birthday, and try to read a bit more about Krishna, try to see how you can, and we all can improve our consciousness. We could become a better version of ourselves. Yes, please, Adi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Adi. Adi, I can't hear you now. You're saying something, I can't hear you. Okay, Adi is sorting himself out. I will stay for Adi. But for everyone else, thank you so much for your time today. And I look forward to see you next Sunday at the same time, 6 p.m. And we will finish off this series next time. And then we will come back to our Bhagavad Gita chapter 6. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev ki jai, all Bhaktavinda ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for your presence. Take good care of yourself. Hare Krishna, Adi.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Happy Janmashtami.
You too. Happy Janmashtami to everyone. Hare